Hello friends, how are you? In this video we'll talk about storage access. Now database files reside permanently on disk with backups on tapes. Now we can see here this is what our memory organization. So here CPU is there. So CPU is directly connected with the primary memory or RAM. So this is what our primary memory. Now primary memory is connected with the secondary memory. It is also called disk. Okay. And all the memory are divided into blocks. So this is what block wise. Okay, so for recovery purpose we may attach a remote disk. Okay, so it is physically separated from the primary disk, and there may be the magnetic tapes are there. These are the tapes where we used to store the historical data or for backup purpose. Okay, so each file is partitioned into fixed length storage units called blocks. Okay, so this is what fixed units, so blocks. So here three blocks are there. So here, so block by block, so this is nothing but one block, which are unit of both storage allocation and data transfer. Okay, so we use for the storage allocation. Suppose this is stored in the hard disk. So this is in this secondary memory. Okay, and this is nothing but our primary memory. So here the data stored in block by block. So this is nothing but our block 0, block 1. So suppose we want to access any roll number, any name, so we have to transfer the whole block. So it is not possible to transfer only this particular record. So transferring is what? Block by block. So here we can transfer this block, this particular position to secondary memory to primary. So we have to transfer the whole block. After completing this one, we can return back that particular block and then transfer this particular block if it is required. Okay, so this is nothing but, so this size is equal to this size, so it is nothing but it is called buffer block. This is nothing but block, it is in secondary memory. Now a block may contain several data but no data span two or more blocks. So suppose you can see this is nothing but one block. So here three data are there, say roll number, name 1 2 3, Jitu, Rajkumar, Nawaz. Okay, so here this is another block. Here we can store 4 5 6, Vicky, Sanjay, Madhavan. Are you getting this one? But no data. Suppose it is not possible that a single data span or it occupied two blocks together. Now it is not possible that a particular record span two or more blocks. Okay. The main goal of the database system is to minimize the number of block transfer between the disk and the memory. Are you getting this one? So we can see here. Suppose we want to access the roll number. So first of all, we have to transfer this particular block into the main memory from secondary to main memory, and after using it, we have to return back. That is called, so transferring data from secondary to primary, it is called swap in. From primary to secondary, it is called swap out. After completing this one, we have to swap in the second block and then swap out. Then use this third block and this one. So the main objective is to minimize the number of block transfer. This is nothing but, this is called block transfer from memory to secondary memory to primary memory and from primary memory to secondary memory. So anyhow it needs time. Okay, so swap in, swap out, it needs time, so it needs transfer time. So if you can reduce the number of transfer, that means you can increase the efficiency of the process. Okay, now it is not possible to keep all the blocks in main memory. We need to manage the allocation of the space available in memory for the storage of the blocks. Definitely, suppose a total RAM, it can accommodate only 1 GB, and we have only 3 GB data. So it is very difficult to allocate all this. Suppose this is nothing but about 3 GB data. Okay, so we can, and it can allocate only 1 GB data. So it is very difficult to allocate this 3 GB data. So it is not possible to keep all blocks in main memory. We need to manage the allocation of the space available in memory for the storage of blocks. Okay, now the buffer is a part of the main memory available for storage of copies of the disk block. So suppose this is nothing but the portion of the memory, primary memory, we can use for the data transfer, for storing the data for the DBMS, because the other portion of the RAM may be used by the other purpose. Okay, maybe operating system is there, some system software are there. Okay, or some portion is for log. Okay, where we store the activities of the database or work area of the transactions. So Are you getting this one? So a particular memory is divided in several different parts. So the buffer, this is nothing but our buffer. The buffer is a part of the main memory available for storage of copies of the disk. So here, if you want to transfer a data, if you want to transfer this particular block, so that particular block must be transferred in this particular buffer area. Okay, and buffer manager is responsible for the allocation of the buffer space. Now it is the responsible of the buffer manager who copy the disk, okay, who transfer data from this, from secondary memory to primary memory, and from primary memory to secondary memory. So the purpose of the buffer manager, now the block transfer process. We discussed the block transfer process done by the buffer manager. Now we can see database system request buffer manager when they need a block from disk. Suppose one instruction is there. Suppose read A. Okay, so suppose the A is here in block 1 and B value is in block B. Okay, so database system request buffer manager when they need a block disk. So suppose it needs A. That B1 is already present in this particular buffer in a RAM. So if the block is already in the buffer, then buffer manager passes the address of the block to the database system. So the buffer manager just pass the address of this particular to the database system. Okay, so if it is there, if that block is already available in the RAM, so the buffer manager passes address of this particular block to the database system. Now else, if the block is not available, so buffer manager allocates space in the buffer for the block by removing some block if required. Now suppose it can accommodate only one block, so definitely it must be swapped out. So the buffer manager remove this particular block from primary memory to second memory, then transfer this particular B2 block, because after A the transaction need the B variable, but the B variable is present in this particular block B2. So the database system cannot accommodate B2 in this particular because already B1 is there. So buffer manager first create a space, okay, by transferring data block from RAM to secondary memory, and then buffer manager transfer B2 block to the RAM, and after that return the starting address, okay, passes the address of the block to the database system. After that, database system can access this particular B, because B is in this particular B2 block. Are you getting this one? Now, technologies which are adopted by buffer manager. So few technologies are there, simple. So first one is pinned block. Pin block means what? A block should not be written to the disk while an update on the disk is in progress. A block that is not allowed to be written back to disk is said to be pinned. Now suppose here we can see here, already we have seen that the variable A is there, here variable B is there, and we need both the variables. Okay, so we need both the variables. Suppose it is say read A, then write A, read B, write B. So if this particular variable, now suppose B1 presently B1 is there in buffer. Okay, after executing this one write A, we need B variables. So for B variable, buffer manager must transfer, swap out this particular B1 variable and then swap in this particular B2. But because of the other processor may use this particular block, B1 block, or the update of the B1 block is going on. At that time, it is not possible to transfer, because if database system transfer this particular block, it may be possible the database system will be in the inconsistent state. Okay, so to suppose, are you getting this one? So see, there is one log file is there where the database activities are stored. So before transferring this particular block, the database system must store this particular log in a disk for permanent. Okay, so log is nothing but it stores the activity of the database. So the activity of the database must store in the stable storage or in a disk. After that, B1 can transfer. So see, to log this particular block, so we can use the pinned. So through this pinned, we indicate that it is not possible to transfer this one. After completing the update, after completing this particular part, update part, then unprint this particular block. After then, the buffer manager can transfer. Okay, one concept is there, forced output of blocks. These are situations in which it is necessary to write back the block to disk, even though the buffer space that it occupies is not needed. This write is called the forced output of a block. Now see, here we have a 3 blocks, B1, B2 and B3. So, but it can accommodate only one block. So first use B1, after that return back, use B2. After that return back and then transfer B3. Now if this particular process is complete, if the execution of the whole data is complete, then by force RAM or buffer manager transfer this particular data from RAM buffer memory to the hard disk. So see, here we have to transfer B1 from RAM to secondary memory because B2 needs that space. We have to transfer B2 from RAM to disk because B3 needs this particular place. But since it is complete, it is not required to vacant this particular place, because it is not required to vacant this particular because after that there is no transfer. But by force, buffer manager transfer this particular block from primary memory to secondary memory. This concept is called force output of a blocks. Okay, so it is necessary to write back to the disk, even though the buffer space that it occupies is not needed. Okay. Next, buffer replacement policy. The goal of a replacement strategy for blocks in the buffer is to minimize the access to the disk. So it is a part of the operating system, already we have discussed. So operating system uses LRU, least recently used block replacement policy, in that if a block needs to be replaced, then the least recently or oldest used block is replaced. Okay, so it's a very simple concept. Suppose two blocks are there, say B1 and B2. Suppose here B1, B2 and B3 are there. So it can accommodate only two blocks, B1 and B2, and at that time suppose B3 needs this particular space or you want to transfer. So we have to create a vacant space. We have to create a space. So suppose if B1 is older than B2, if B1 block is older than B2, so transfer B1. Are you getting this one? But if B2 is older than B2, then transfer B2. So this particular concept is called least recent unit. So our database system is able to predict the pattern of future block more accurately than operating system. Okay, so because it is a fixed pattern, but database is what much more, it has much more information. Database system has much more information than the operating system. So how it is, you can see here. The database system is often able to determine in advance which blocks will be needed by looking at each of the steps required to perform the user's requested operation. Okay, so we can see here this particular concept. See, we have three tables: student, result and subject. Okay, now suppose the one query is there, like list the name of the student who got marks more than equal to 80 in physics subject or chemistry subject. Okay, so we can see this is nothing but our relation algebra. So physics subject, so we need from the subject table we need the information of the physics as well as the chemistry. We need information of the physics and chemistry, that means we need S1 and S2. And from that particular result, that means we need, so after that operation we have this particular table. Okay, and after this one and from this particular table, so marks greater than 80. Now see, the subject name are in subject table and marks present in this particular result table. So we need this particular table. So from that particular result table, we have to extract the marks which are more than equal to 80. So more than equal to 80 means what? this one, this one, this one, and this one. So 4 records are there. We can see 90, okay, 90, 93, 82 and 85. Roll numbers are 1, 3, okay, 4 and 5. So this is the table after this particular, and this is the table after this particular operation. After that we have to merge, okay, and merging is what we have to, after merging this one we have this particular table. This is nothing but the temporary table, which that must be stored in the buffer. Already I've discussed what is buffer. Okay, that must be present in the primary memory. Okay, now if you see this particular this particular tree, the relation algebra, we can see that we need subject table and the result. That means what? We need the blocks where the subject is present, we need the blocks where the results are present, and we have to merge this. After that we need the student, we need the student table where, or student or the block where the student table is there. That means what? We can have information. After that we need which particular table. Okay, now see, this is what our natural join is there. That means what? We can do this one, so we can apply the join. So it may be possible that that particular record is compared with this record and this record. Okay, now this particular record compare this record and this record. This particular record compare this record and this record. Now see, now it may be possible it is stored in block by block. Okay, it may be possible stored in block by block. Since we have compared this all the data, we have to remove this particular block from the RAM, and we have to transfer this particular data from RAM to secondary memory. Are you getting this one? After that there is a table, we have to compare this data with these two data, and after that we have this particular table. So once this particular process of this particular is over, we have to transfer, we can through the database system, the buffer manager, transfer this particular table from RAM to secondary memory, though it is recently used. Are you getting this one? So this is just opposite of least recent unit. So least recently used, in least recently used, we transfer the block, we transfer the older block. Now we can see here, after this particular join, we don't require this particular block. So see, it is for each and every row you have to compare this particular block. So we need this particular block throughout the comparison, but after processing this particular part is not required. So that means what? We can transfer this particular block, because we have seen there each and every block, it can, for example, we assume that each and every block it can contain 3 records only. Okay, so after exit this one, we can return back, and then finally we have to process this particular block, and then after that we can transfer this particular block into the secondary memory. So it is called, we can toss immediate strategy. Okay, so we can see, once processing of an entity block of a result records is completed, that block is no longer needed. We have seen here in main memory, even though it have been used recently. Okay, so two tables are there, and these are the blocks. Okay, and if you want to merge this, say P and Q, if you want to merge P and Q, okay, so we have to compare with this all. So once this particular part is over, then transfer this particular part into the primary memory, secondary memory. Okay, so the buffer manager free the space occupied by a result block as soon as the final record has been processed. This strategy is called toss immediate strategy. So immediately after using this one, immediately you have to transfer this particular block, so that the RAM can accommodate the other block, rest of the blocks. Okay, now note that the buffer manager tries to keep or retain data dictionary and the index file in primary memory, because these are the frequently used blocks. So the buffer manager tries to keep all these two information, these two tables, these two blocks where these two data are there, keep in the primary memory. Now, if the system is processing requests by several users concurrently, then the concurrent control scheme may be used to delay certain requests. Now, to ensure preservation of database consistency. Now we can see here. Moreover, crash recovery system imposes constraint on disk replacement. Now we can see here. Here, two transactions are there, T1 and T2. Okay, so T1 read A is equal to A plus 100, write A. In T2 R read C, C is equal to C minus 100, write C. But T1 unit read B, B is equal to B minus 100, write B. Now if this is the case, so we can see this is nothing but our buffer area where the blocks are there, and here two parts are there. Log part is there where the database system store the activity of the database, and work area where the transactions are going on. Actually, transaction data transfer is going on, data calculation is going on here. Okay, now suppose transaction 1 needs a variable, so that a variable is present in block 1, so we have to transfer this one. After that, transaction 2 needs c variables, but this c variable present is b3, but the RAM cannot accommodate this b1. So before that, before this particular one, so it is not, so the buffer manager will not transfer this particular block suddenly. First of all, the transfer manager store the information about this particular activity, the data of this particular activity which is present in the log. That particular log must be stored in the disk. After storing this one, the buffer manager transfer this particular block from RAM to secondary memory, then give chance the transaction T2 to transfer to use this particular block where this particular C is there. So after that, B3 is there. Now after completing of this particular B3 part, T1 needs the B variable. That B variable is present in what? In the block B2. Okay, so it will, so B2 must wait. So that particular T1 must wait. So because B3 is there, so obviously in this case also, the database manager store information about the activity of the database in the log. First store this particular log in the database. After that, transfer this particular B3 block from RAM to secondary memory, and then transfer B2 block in this particular RAM. Okay, so to maintain the consistency, the transaction must wait for this particular block transfer. If the successfully block transfers are completed, then and only the transaction can use this particular data, okay, and can complete this transaction. And that is the end of this particular video. Thank you very much.